And I think more importantly, when we put together a plan, like a good legal plan on your side, making sure that we can preserve government benefits, take advantage of all the opportunities from the financial planning side, we want to make sure, is there enough money that's funding these different vehicles? Are we testing the care team before we need it? I mean, it's nice to have that trial run, that test drive, if you will.
So I'm very excited to have on our channel today Darryl Ng. So Darryl is a wonderful financial advisor. We've worked together on a lot of different client matters. We've presented together. He's just super cool. And he used to be a monk, and you'll hear more about that today as well. And what we want to talk about today is caring for the caregiver. I know I get a lot of clients who come in, a lot of our clients are elderly, and sometimes we'll have, a couple where one spouse is caring for the other spouse, or maybe you have a child who's caring for an ailing elderly adult. We want to look out for the caregiver as well. And so we thought we'd talk a bit about that. And Daryl's the perfect person to do so. So welcome, Darryl, and tell us just a little bit about yourself before you dive in.
Thank you, Ellen. Pleasure to be on. And so, a little bit of background. I am Morgan Stanley's first and only national strategic partner in special needs planning. Six professional designations. When things get interesting, that's usually when people reach out. And former fully ordained Buddhist monk, and the only one on the Forbes top advisor list.
Wow. You love collecting those letters next to your name, don't you?
Love to learn, never
He's
stopping.
like, and he's like, I've gotten a new designation, Ellen. I'm like, that's great. I mean, you're always learning. I think that's what it tells me, and I really appreciate that. Great. All right. Well, so tell us, what are we talking about today? Tell us about this caring for the caregiver.
Yeah, and so I thought it would be useful. Let me share my screen real quick. And I thought it would be useful for us to just kind of have a conversation of, well, why is this important? And so to use a quote from former First Lady Rosalind Carter, there are four different types of people in the world: those who have been caregivers, those who currently are caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need caregivers. This is universal. And I think this affects so many of our families and for ourselves as well. From a personal background standpoint, Ellen, I mean, I'm the oldest born son of a traditional Chinese family. In seventh grade, my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's. So take a wild guess who got to do all the work growing up. Not my younger brother, although we deliberately did it this way. So sometimes this is thrust upon you. And this is such an important decision to make on this, whether you like it or not. And so I did want to share a couple of just quick statistics with you why this matters. I mean, 59% of family caregivers are women who do report higher levels of stress and challenges compared to their male counterparts. 43% of all caregivers are solo care providers. And imagine if you're already working full time, how about spending an additional 20 hours on average per week of unpaid work? 53% of all individuals split their time between keeping a full time job and caregiving. And 58% of caregivers say that they are not getting enough financial support. So these are some pretty important numbers to share, Ella. And so I think as we approach this as a financial planner, I always want to make sure that this is done in a collaborative format. Of course, I know you're big into expounding the team, the professional team, having a skilled attorney like yourself and your team to handle the legal matters, having a good financial planner to run the finances, have a good care coordinator or your support network. Super important to have because not only is this legal, financial, you need to have a good tax advisor as well. There's some really good tax deductions that you can take with this. You need to have all of them working together. And as a big Disney fan, I love the Avengers. Growing up, reading all the comic books, I like to call this Avengers for Care Families on this. So you can pick and choose who you'd like. I mean, I always like Iron Man on this because he's the super smart guy who has all the fun toys. I think it's important to have all of the characters on here on the professional team, if that makes sense.
It totally does. I know my husband's a big Marvel fan, and so I get to watch all of the shows with him, whether it's a Disney Plus show or this or that. But it's really true. Having this team is so important. And I think one thing that a lot of our families don't understand, especially as they're caring for a disabled child, is all of the work that they put into it that's unpaid. If you add that up, I mean, Daryl, that could add up to $200,000 of service a year that nobody else is going to step up and do when you're gone. So really planning that out, who's on the bus, who's on your Marvel team, right?
Exactly, exactly. And I think it's also important from just not only a monetary standpoint, but as we are executing on this, this is not traditional financial planning. We're not planning for one or two lives. We're planning for maybe three or more. Because what happens if you have like a child with special needs? Well, I'm sure parents like you and I, Ellen, we eventually will hopefully retire one of these days. Maybe not anytime soon, but I think it's important to put everything into perspective. So we do have to play some 3D chess here.
That's right. And we're so lucky to have people like you, Daryl, who do that strategy, who think through, okay, all the things that as special needs parents we stay up late at night worrying about. Like, but what if this happens and how will we address this? We that's what planning is all about, and addressing all those what ifs so we can sleep at night.
Absolutely. And I think more importantly, when we put together a plan, like a good legal plan on your side, making sure that we can preserve government benefits, take advantage of all the opportunities from the financial planning side, we want to make sure is there enough money that's funding these different vehicles? Are we testing the care team before we need it? I mean, it's nice to have that trial run, that test drive, if you will.
That's right. That's right. I love that.
And I think, the other component that comes up a lot is whenever this comes up, it could be sudden, it could be gradual. As far as a caregiving situation, there's usually a tremendous amount of stress and emotion that comes through this process. And so, tapping into my former monk roots, I think it's important for your audience and yourself, and for our community to be calm, collected, and have the right state of mind as we try to make these very important decisions with everything. And so I'd love to share with you just a quick micro meditation for today of some of my favorite breathing techniques. And the beauty of this is my understanding people can replay this as well. So upon demand, woohoo.
Yes, just keep it on loop. Love it.
Exactly. So as we settle into this moment, I suggest, sit comfortably in a chair, or if you're lying down in bed, probably not the best ideal version of this, but as you sit quietly in a chair, just make sure that you be mindful of your posture on this. Put your feet grounded with the soles on the floor. Make sure that your shoulders are nice and relaxed. You can keep your eyes open, slightly closed, or closed. And we'll be practicing what I call the 4-7-8 breathing method. This will help you regulate your nervous system and calm you down, because a lot of stress comes in when we see increased levels of cortisol that happen. If you have it for too long of a period of time, it can lead to some profound health impacts. And being a caregiver is stressful, going through this personally, helping out our client families. So it is completely okay and recommended to take time out for self-care for yourself. Whether it's doing dancing like you do, Ellen, or for me, I'd love to be in front of the barbecue pit, smoking away some meat. That's how I relax, or my morning meditations. So let's go ahead and practice a couple of sets of this 4-7-8 breathing. We breathe in for 4, we hold for 7, and we exhale for 8. So we breathe in through the nose for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale slowly through the mouth for 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. Breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale for 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's go ahead and keep our gazes either closed or halfway closed. And as we enter in this period, let's practice a bit of mindfulness. And you can breathe however you like, breathe natural. And we'll do a quick body scan, starting with the top of your head. Feel how your hair feels. Direct your attention to your forehead. Relax your eyes. Feel the tip of your nose as you breathe in and breathe out. Relax your cheekbones, your chin. Feel the muscles in your neck, your shoulders. Feel free and roll your shoulders and relax your shoulders. Your arms, your elbows. Feel the sensations going to the tips of your fingers. Circling back to your back, relax your back, your stomach muscles, your thighs, the kneecaps. Relax your shins, your calves, and observe the feeling of your feet grounded on the floor. The beauty of a body scan is that we become more aware of our bodily sensations and how things feel. Things sometimes become very super busy in our lives, especially if you're doing caregiving. But this is your time to relax. And just observe as we sit in this moment. Hear if there's any sounds that are around you. If you have a fan on, if there's birds chirping in the background. Be in the moment. Sometimes thoughts arise. What am I going to cook for dinner? What time do I have to pick up the kids? This is normal. This is natural. What I suggest is just tag these thoughts without any judgment and just observe, I'm having these thoughts. Okay. And just let it go. Like how clouds pass by in the sky. And we'll sit for more breaths. And as we return to our lives, I'll count us down from 5 to 1. And at the end of the count, gently, peacefully open your eyes, but become more aware of your surroundings. 5. Take a couple of deep breaths. 4. Feel the nourishing air coming into your system, and exhale for stress. 3. Almost to our waking point to get back into reality. 2. And 1 final deep, full breath in fully. And exhale fully. And 1. Let's open up our eyes. And how do you feel, Ellen?
I feel great. Wow. That's awesome.
And keep in mind, that was only, I think, 4 minutes. I did better than the 5-minute budget I believe you gave me. So you can do this anywhere. You don't have to be in a quiet room. You can do this wherever you can find your peace, but it is important to level set, to be calm, to have the right state of mind. Because as you make big decisions, things are always going to come at you on this. I know you have your fair share of things that pop up with work and with the family. So do I, but these are normal. And the final quote that I'll leave you with is I know that there's been a whole bunch of monks that have been walking around the Deep South, the Walk for Peace, which I've been following. And so the venerable monk in charge of the movement said something that really resonates with me and a lot of my clients, which he said, make your day a peaceful day. We cannot control the external factors that come at us. We're here in the Bay Area. The traffic is horrible. So are the drivers. We can't control them, but we can control how we react to it.
That's very true. Taking ourselves out of the fight or flight craziness and getting rooted. Ah, so powerful. Thank you, Darryl. Thank you so much for
It's my pleasure.
as we're all caregivers in some way or another, and being able to contribute to the world in that way. I appreciate it.
We're all part of the same community is how I look at it. We're better together than apart.
So true. So true. Well, thanks for joining us. And hopefully our viewers got something great out of this, and we'll put this on loop and watch it over and over.
It's my pleasure, Ellen. Thanks for having me on.
If this video is helpful for you, share it to someone else who might benefit from it.